Hey YouTube, KR Miller here. We are heading down to Classic Mini Workshop number 2 to see AC Dodd and get the Mini City tuned. So as the video intro suggests, I'm off down to Mark's. We've got AC Dodd booked for the day to do a tuning session. So we'll be doing 2 of Mark's cars, the 850 van and his 1275 GT, both single carbs. We'll be doing my Mini City, and we've got a subscriber from the channel bringing his car down, which I'm really excited to see actually, because he won it in one of these like competition raffles, and it looks absolutely awesome. So really looking forward to seeing that. Now with this car, yes, it does need a bit of a tune. I've obviously got the air fuel ratio gauge on here so I can see what's going on, and I have a specific problem with this, that when I boot it, it will go very, very lean momentarily, even to the point it might start misfiring. I did sort of temporarily sort of fix that or mask that over by putting thicker oil in the dash pot, so I put 2050 in, and that really did help. But I actually think it'll probably benefit from having a hybrid damper, but I'll get AC to look at it and see what he thinks. Ultimately the carb is quite worn on this. It could probably do with a carb rebuild, but in reality probably in a month's time, month and a half, 2 months, I'll be stripping this engine all down anyway, and we'll be going down the supercharged route. So yeah, today is really just for a bit of fun, I guess, and also to see what I can learn. I never stop learning. I find AC Dodd's videos very interesting. I'm not an expert on SU carbs and things like that, so yeah, it's always nice to sort of learn new stuff and pick up stuff from the experts, so I'm looking forward to that. So what should you do to prepare for coming down, or AC coming to you to do a tune-up? There are some basics that you can do yourself. The most important thing here, and AC will say it himself, you're paying for his time. So anything you can do yourself means he's got longer to spend using his expertise to tune the car. So things like, you know, checking oil and water, those are the basics. I don't know whether AC's ever had it before, but making sure you've got enough fuel in the car as well. So, you know, presenting the car to him with not a lot of fuel in is not going to help. And AC will often go on about gapping the spark plugs, because it's a really simple thing to do. Appreciate not everyone is mechanically minded or good with the spanners, but if you own a classic Mini, you kind of have to know some basics yourself. So if you want to teach yourself one thing, it would be, my suggestion would be learning how to gap spark plugs correctly. If you know how to gap spark plugs, you know how to gap points. Especially if you've got a Mini with points on, you need to know how to use a set of feeler gauges. So Darren Haynes done a video on this recently, which was really, really useful. I'll stick a link down in the description. Go and check it out. I've worked on cars all my life. I was shown as an apprentice how to gap plugs, but the way Darren explains it is really, really useful. And I've got to be honest, I watched it, and yeah, I've never thought about it in that sort of way. So so go and check it out. You might learn something. Right, so the first Mini we have up for tune is Mark's 1960 minivan. It's very rare, this. It's got a flat roof, and the man himself, AC Dodd, is already getting busy under the bonnet. All going well?
So far,
all going well. This is just such a lovely looking Mini under the bonnet, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. Could eat your dinner off that, quite literally. Set of plugs going in it by the looks of it. Well, the original plugs gapped, right?
Oh, now you've asked me something. Actually, the reason why I'm changing them is because they're quite carboned up.
Yeah.
So you know, it's obviously not running away. No.
No. No surprise. Right. Well, let's leave AC to that. I'm sure there'll be an interesting one, this, because Mark's had it tuned by some specialists before and never ever really got it running right. So it'd be interesting to see whether AC can work his magic, but it all depends really. If the carb's worn out, then we're off to a bad start, but let's see how it goes.
What we found, so me being here is obviously highlighted it to him, but some of the things we've done, obviously, as I said before, done the plugs, leads, change the coil, I didn't get time to do the vacuum unit, and that's pods go very lean. So I've changed that for a second-hand one, which is now sorted that out. We're running no oil in the dash pot, and we've got an end needle that's been modified.
Right, well this is another interesting one. This is Mark's minivan. I've never driven this. I don't think I've ever driven an 850 minivan either, so it's a first for me. So it's just had an AC Dodd tune. Let's see what it's all about. If you're wondering why I'm not wearing a seatbelt, don't get in the comments and roast me. This van has no seatbelts. It also has no passenger seat, so you feel a little bit vulnerable in here. Now it took a bit of tuning this with AC. It's got a manifold leak. The carburetor have been really messed about with in the past, and it's not perfection, but I actually didn't drive this before, so I can't do a before and after, but I can tell you this is driving pretty good. It feels better than I would expect for an 850. There is no flat spots. The throttle is progressive. I'm actually having to slow down. No flat spots. Throttle's progressive. It feels smooth. Yeah, like I say, I can't do a before and after because I didn't drive it before, but Mark was saying it drove awfully. It's never driven right. I would go as far to say that that drives as well as a 998. A 998 is running properly as well. It picks up even at low revs. It's got torque there, which for a very small bore engine, I'm quite surprised. Let's give it a quick run through the gears and see what it's like. Yeah, I'll be happy with that. It goes really well. For a little 850 small bore engine, I'd be pretty pleased with that. And it's loaded up as well. It's a minivan doing what a minivan should be doing. Okay, so that's Mark's minivan all tuned, running much better now. It's hard to believe that that van is 65 years old. If you want to find out a little bit more about the tune, go and check out AC Dodd's channel. I recommend you go over there, watch the videos and subscribe. He's a very knowledgeable guy and you will learn quite a lot by watching his videos. So next up, it's James's 1970 Mini 1000. Right, so the second Mini to get some treatment. This belongs to James, one of the viewers of the channel who come down for the day. This is actually a UK Mini's competition Mini. that he won a few weeks ago. So it's a 1970 Mini 1000, obviously made to look a little bit like a Cooper S. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's in like this grey paintwork, which is very sort of period looking, but what really sort of shows this Mini off, when we look under the bonnet in a moment, it has got a seriously spec'd up engine. I should think it goes really well, and it will go even better after the AC tune. So this engine, you can absolutely eat your dinner off it, and like I say, it's a very, very nice spec as well. I'll try and get this all right, but it's a 1330 fast road engine, including an 11 stud conversion, MED cross drilled crank, lightened and balanced com rods, Omega cast pistons, MED centre main strap, vernier duplex timing chain, Swift Tune SW5 cam, lightweight followers, MED 1.5 roller tip rockers, Mini spares worked 11 stud cylinder head, ARP head bolts, MED lightened and balanced flywheel, fully reconditioned gearbox including Mini spares cross-pin diff, a Maniflow stage 2 exhaust manifold, an RCM exhaust system. Sounds absolutely beautiful, and it made 95 brake horsepower and 98 pounds-feet on the rolling road after the running in tune. So we expect once it's run in and once it's set up, it should be seeing in excess of 100 brake horsepower. So yeah, this looks absolutely amazing. Really, really nice car. So look inside at this. This is really, really nice, with a wood motor liter, genuine motor liter, wood steering wheel, the bucket seats, the centre binnacle. Yeah, I just love the look of this. It looks really, really nice. I like older Minis this, where they have a bare top and bottom dash rail. And I think what really shows a good restoration on the Mini was when you start looking deep, things like inside the boot floor, everything with this, nut and bolt rebuild. Yeah, just fantastic condition. Thank you, James, for letting me show it to the viewers. So this is James, the owner of this Mini 1000 1970, but it's a 1330 with a nicely tuned engine. And I always wonder whether AC bends people's arms behind their back to say how great it is. But what do you think, James? Does it genuinely feel much better now?
Yeah, it's just kind of like very responsive, smooth. It's just worked really well. Really interesting watching the process.
Yeah, I've not seen AC Dodd in the flesh before tuning a car, but like you say, it's really interesting to see the process he goes through. And on video, it looks like 5 minutes, but we had probably a couple of hours, didn't we, tweaking that needle, getting it dialed in absolutely perfectly. And I know it sounds really weird, but it sounded fast, so, and I obviously felt like it on the road as well.
And for me, it's not all about the speed, but it's nice to have it when you want it.
When you want it,
basically.
yeah.
I've got the option.
Well, it's a fantastic looking Mini. Yeah, thanks for coming down and really nice to meet you.
Cheers, likewise, thank you.
Right, so AC Dodd has started the day by first car in for a tune is Mark's 1960 850 minivan. I'm actually in Mark's 1975 1275 GT at the moment. I don't think I've ever driven this car. Since it's been laid up, Mark said it's got a banging noise coming from it, so I'm going to take it for a bit of a ride, have a listen, and kind of see how it goes. I'll see how it goes before and after the tune. But this is, again, a lovely little car from Mark's Mini collection. Right, so AC's just started the tune on this one. It was running 7 degrees retarded, so that won't have helped things at all. Just pulled the plugs out. They weren't great and too big a gap, and they've not been replaced for a long time, so no messing around, just new set of plugs. And now AC's just going to work on the mixture.
Let's get that in and try it.
Right, so the first sort of mod we're going to do on the Mini with a fuel in is it's got like a standard airbox on it, very, very restrictive. In fact, the airbox is off like a 998 Mini, so AC has done some modifications here, and it's quite important where those holes go, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was just explaining just off camera, but you don't just want to drill it all the way around. What you actually want to do is maintain or add ram length. So if you drill it all the way around, you actually shorten the air path, and you can actually not gain anything. And what I mean by that is if you add ram length, you actually add inertial ramming, and you'll put more air into the engine by having a longer run of the air going into the air tract. So you'll actually add performance, add torque, and that's what we're trying to do here. Obviously I've drilled it around the front to maintain the length of the air path.
Excellent. So some purists might bulk at that a little bit, but it is a fairly common airbox then, quite easy to come by. And we did make the point of taking the original Cooper sticker off the airbox and saving it if we ever want to refit it. And of course, just to mention, AC did ask Mark before he drilled the airbox, because not everyone wants their airbox drilled, so it's entirely up to you.
So let's see what it actually does. And that'll give it a bit more of a nice grunt under the. Yes, I'm trying to add airflow. Yeah. So whereas before you're just trying to use the airflows there, I don't want to lean the needle out. I want to actually add more air.
Yeah.
What?
Result. Right, so let's see if it's true. This has now been tuned by AC Dodd, and I've driven it before, so let's see. Oh, shut up. Straight away, that is miles better. Honestly, I thought it was good beforehand. Wow, I might actually go on a bit of a longer run with it. That pulled hard. Ooh. we're cruising at 60 miles an hour here. Instantly, if I boot it, and I'm backing off there to stay within the speed limit, but yeah. Wow. That is amazing, the difference it makes. Right, I know this is going to sound really cliche, and it's nice to actually see it for real, feel it for real, but genuinely, that is night and day difference. I drove this before it was tuned, and I thought it went okay. Now, I've been driving around a 998, so, you know, that probably doesn't help, but the difference between how it went this morning and how it's gone this afternoon is phenomenal. Taking in mind it is still the same engine, it's still the same carburetor, same ignition system, nothing has changed apart from the tune. Now you can go out and you can spend hundreds if not thousands in engine parts and modifications, and you are just wasting your money if it's not tuned correctly. Honestly, if someone had fitted a new carburetor on that, a new air filter and a new inlet manifold, and I'd paid £1,000 and it made the difference it's made just by having the tune, I'd have been happy with that, to be honest. You can notice the difference on the road and it's so much more enjoyable to drive. Now we're going along, we're cruising along, we're in 4th gear here, we're doing 40-ish miles an hour. I'm just going to plant the throttle and it just pulls and it pulls. Yeah, this is Mark's car, but I'm sure he is going to be super pleased with that. Right then, so let's give it a run through the gears, see what it feels like. National speed limit very, very quickly. Yeah, that goes really, really well. Sounds awesome as well. I think that drilled air box at the front just giving a bit more induction noise. I think for me the biggest difference though is when you are cruising sort of that mid-range throttle and then you boot it, the response is instant and you just feel the torque kicking. Right, so that's the 1275 GT done, and I think you probably saw my reaction. It was by far the most impressive car of the day. I was very, very pleased with that. Very impressed with how it drove afterwards, and that's a fantastic little car. I love that little car. Now we move on to my Super City. I didn't actually feel much of the tune going on here. There is some in-car stuff, but fundamentally, this was able to be tuned differently because it's got an AFR gauge on it. So I was able to go out in it and drive it under real well conditions, under full load, and be able to report back to AC exactly what the fueling was doing with the AFR gauge. So if you've got an AFR gauge fitted, it really does help you in tuning the car and getting it dialed in. I would thoroughly recommend it. Right, so this is slightly different from the norm for AC. So because we've got an AFR gauge, we're going to sort of do successive runs. So it's been tuned statically using the AFR gauge. I'm now going to take it out and see what it's like at full power. Certainly the getting lean on acceleration seems to be fine now, so we'll just check that's okay, and then and see what AFR we're getting under full load, full throttle, which is really, you know, the real benefit of having an AFR gauge. Right, so straight away, the acceleration, the going lean on acceleration is not happening now. It's perfect. So there's no hesitation now where there was before. I'll just try it. So first thing we'll try is before just cruising along. So we got spot on AFR on the cruise now. We are pretty much bang on 14.7. And when I boot it now, we're dropping to 13.5, 13.6. What we got now? So the low to mid-range torque is like, you can really feel it there. Yeah. Right, so we're just going to go out again, little bit richer at the top end now on the needle. The biggest difference has been the low to mid-range torque. When you're sort of going gently like this and you plant the throttle, it's just pulling hard, or hard as it can be for a 998cc Mini small bore. Yeah, full throttle now, it's just a tad richer. We're about 13.2, 13.3 now, and we're at about 13.5, 13.6 before. And as the revs build, it's just getting a tad richer. We're down into the low 13s, high 12s now. I think that's probably about right. It certainly feels great driving. Again, I'm having to back off here. The most noticeable difference, like I say, is in that low to mid-range torque. It's when you're not thrashing it, you're just driving it around gently, sort of cruise speed, and then you want to go and you just give it a bit of throttle. You don't even have to give it full throttle, just give it a bit of throttle and you can feel it pushing you back. And this is a 998 small bore Mini. This is not a 1275. It's not heavily tuned, it's not got a cam in it or anything like that. It is just a stage 1 kit with a proper bit of tuning. So there we go, I think we are done on the Super City. I'm really pleased with it. Like I say, for me, the biggest difference is in the low to mid-range torque and the throttle responsiveness. There is no hesitation at all there now. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So we're at the end of a tuning day with the main man himself, AC Dodd. I've got to admit, he's taller than I thought he was. He's a tall guy.
I'm known for being a big unit.
So you've been here all day. We've tuned 4 cars. So if you watch the videos and think it's done within 20 minutes, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
I think every car today had a bit of a problem that needed sorted out.
Yeah.
But they are all genuinely a massive difference from how we started off in the morning. Certainly, I was super impressed with a 1275 GT. That is just a real joy to drive. And James's car earlier, the Mini 1000 with a 1330 in.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a nice little engine anyway, but that sounded really quick. And I'm sure James will comment on the video. I'm sure he had an absolutely fantastic drive back.
He was certainly very impressed with how that car performed, absolutely.
I mean, sort of final thoughts from me, and I mention it as I'm driving along in the car, but for me, I've been into Minis for years, and I've seen people do various different modifications, bolt parts onto their car. You know, they'll think nothing about going out and spending a couple of £100 on a set of roller rockers, 50 quid on an airbox, 100 quid on a manifold, bolt them on, and they always say it goes much better than it did before. But I'm always skeptical whenever I see that, and I'm like, really? Do you actually feel a difference? But with an AC Dodd tune, honestly, you will get in the car and you will notice the difference straight away. The little Super City was running pretty well beforehand, so I was kind of skeptical whether it could be any better, but the low to mid-range torque, where you're driving it around normally and, you know, you're going down the country roads and you just want to give it a blip, you really sort of feel it push back in your seat now, which for a 998 car is really impressive. And for me, even more impressive was that little minivan. That went really, really well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So just because you think your car's running right, you don't actually know that until you actually do some measurements and actually understand what's going on. So obviously what Keith's experienced today is just that, especially on his Super City, because he, you know, as viewers have already seen on his channel, you know, he's been driving it, he's been testing his car, he's obviously found it's not quite right. Well, we've been able to fix that today and get it absolutely on the money. So the important thing to understand there is just because you think it's nearly right, well, actually, there's generally an improvement you can always make.
Do I recommend AC Dodd services? Absolutely, 100%. In fact, I would say you could make a massive financial mistake by just going out and bolting parts on your car. The first thing you should do, if you've not had it done already, is get a tune by AC Dodd or someone that's been trained by AC Dodd, because it will be the best bang for buck you will get. I guarantee that.